People who are good at managing their emotions are less lonely, maintain more time fulfilling social relationships, and are more satisfied with their lives. They experience fewer financial hardships, commit less crimes, and perform better at school and work. They're also physically healthier. They move faster. They look more youthful in photographs. They biologically age less quickly. And they live longer. The ability to control your emotions isn't just about avoiding the dark side of life. It's about enriching the positive, generative, and rewarding dimensions of existence as well. That is today's topic. Why managing your emotions as a man is so important. That excerpt that I just read is from a book that I just got about managing your emotions. And that part of the book, that paragraph, really spoke to me. And like in all my other videos, I talk about personal experience, and I'm no better than you guys. I'm just a vessel to provide a message to help people who are in similar situations as myself. I'm not perfect, and I go through emotional things just like you guys. Like I try to tell my brothers and my friends and try to live by it myself. Emotions are key to be successful as a man. If you're in your 20s and you're watching this, emotions are key. I'm gonna give you a couple examples. A lot of times in life, we have very difficult situations that are traumatic, that are stressful, that are hard to manage. And we can shoot ourselves in the foot as men where we, get too emotional or get angry or, don't really think out a plan or a process. And then we end up regretting it later. So the goal is try to prevent that from happening, to try to, limit that as much as possible. I mean, I know not every man or everybody grows up with their dad. Fortunately, I was able to have my father in my life, and that's one thing he always told me was to manage my emotions. Now, it's easier said than done, but it'll definitely help you guys in the long run. Let's say you have a situation at work where you have a manager, you have a coworker, you have someone at the job that just irks your nerves, or they might be talking to you crazy, or you just might take it the wrong way. You might not appreciate what they're saying. They may not understand you, and you may not understand them, and the communication is not there. A lot of people I know, and a lot of emotional immature people, and when I say emotionally immature people, I mean people who have a hard time managing their emotions. They're going to take these things the wrong way. They're going to react the wrong way. And that might cost them an opportunity. Sometimes you have to learn and understand that it's okay to lose the battle, because the goal is to win the war. What good does it do you at work if you have a manager or a boss or a coworker that gets on your nerves and you cuss them out, you berate them, you get in their face, you disrespect them back, or you treat them in a negative way that can negatively impact your standing with that job, whether you get fired, whether you get suspended, whether you lose out on that promotion. Think about how you would feel, especially if you need the job. Now, this doesn't mean, and I'm not saying that you just let people talk to you anyway and disrespect you. Not at all. We don't tolerate that as men. That's the opposite of a man. We don't want to be disrespected. But we have to find more creative ways to go about it. And there's plenty of ways to do that if you manage your emotions. You can talk to that person respectfully, see how that goes. You can go talk to your boss, You can file a report with HR. And then if things just aren't working, you keep trying all these methods to try to calm and relax the situation, or get people to treat you with more respect and dignity. Man, you better start looking for another job. But the good thing about handling the situation appropriately is it allows you more time to find a better job and find a job you may like. If you get fired, if you get suspended, if you lose on money, you're in a hurry, you're in a rush, and you're going to have to take a job you may not really want. You might be in a situation that you don't want to be in. And this example applies to anything in life. You never know when you're going to need someone in life, whether it's at work, whether it's in regular life, whether it's that bitter, if you have a bitter baby mama, or you just have a baby mama you don't get along with, if you don't get along with your parents, your siblings, your stepdad, your stepmom, your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, whatever it may be, aunties, uncles, you have to pick and choose the right time to react and respond to certain comments and remarks and situations. Trust me, I have family members that I can't stand sometimes. But I also know that it would be very stupid of me to cut them off completely right now when they can be of some benefit. Like I said, there's been times where I've quit my job prematurely or immaturely because I'm getting into it, I'm irritated, and man, I'm thinking I'm about to get a job real quick and I couldn't find work for 4, 5, 6 months. I had to run up my credit card bills, and that created another problem, all because I couldn't handle it in here and in here, because I didn't understand how to manage my stress levels, my emotional levels. So I just quit. And then it trickled. It was just a cause and effect. I left the job and I start getting into worse financial situations, and found a job that was even worse than the other one. More stressful than the other one, less pain than the other one. And to this day, and that was a couple years ago, I'm still dealing with the impact of that decision. So this goes for anything in life, man. You got someone that you are dealing with that you don't like, that you want to go off on. Just remember, you may need them in the future. You may not need them now, but that could be your boss. That could be your future mother-in-law, father-in-law. That could be your future brother, sister. That could be your future doctor. You want people to remember you in a good light. Also, when it comes to managing emotions, this is something that we usually and generally are not taught as kids. We're not taught how to deal with emotions. Most of the time, we're taught to suck up our emotions. We're taught to, hey, don't cry about that. Hey, don't get mad. Hey, don't, those type of things. We're supposed to be strong as men. We're supposed to be tough. We can't cry, but don't hold in your emotions. If you're sad, be sad. That's natural. We're human. We're supposed to be, emotional creatures to an extent. That means if we're mad, be mad. If you're happy, be happy. If you're irritated, be irritated. Because when you try to hold these things in and you try to act like they don't matter or they don't exist or you're just numb, that's just going to end up coming out later on at some point on someone that doesn't need it or expected it. Or you might just, put that on yourself through actions that aren't good for your mental health or physical health. Ways to help manage your emotions: go to the gym, work out, read a book, talk to someone, talk to yourself, learn yourself, understand your body and communicate with your body internally to see what's really going on. Figure out those triggers. Sometimes we'll be in a perfectly good state and someone might come in the room, someone might come into your place of business, and they might make you uncomfortable. They might say something that bothers you. They might just ruin the whole feng shui of your day and mess it all up. We all have that. And it's okay if they mess it up because, it's normal. That's life. But we have to be better at dealing with these things. We have to learn that, hey, This minor inconvenience, we can't let it ruin the rest of our day. We need to handle it and attack it in that moment and go on with our day. If you look at any man in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, all the rich men, all the mature men, that's one thing they do preach is emotional control. If you can conquer that in your 20s, man, you have the world in your hands. You can go into a room and you can control that room. You can go into a situation and you can control that situation. You can leave hostile situations without responding back hostile, which shows you have the strength, you have the power. That's something that I know a lot of guys who can't do. And when you can conquer that, when you can be the bigger man, you're going to feel way better. Don't get me wrong, in some instances it sucks. There's times where I'll be wanting to go off on people and just like everybody else, cuss somebody out, yell at someone. But then when you just walk away, when you just go about your day, you realize like, hey, life is too big to stress over one person. Life is too big to stress over one situation. Start appreciating those things, that you have. If you're sad, figure out why you're sad. It's okay to be sad, but just remember, I guarantee you if you're sad, I guarantee you there's other things in your life that you can be happy about. If you're mad, there's other things in your life that you can be happy about. That one person, scenario, situation, the coffee machine not working, your favorite cup breaking, your show going off the air, anything that may affect your emotional mood. You might have anxiety, you might have a test coming up, whatever it may be. I guarantee you there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. And these emotions are only temporary, but they're as temporary as you let them be. The more you let them be there, they're not as temporary. They become permanent. You walk around and you live life angry, mad, sad, whatever it is, then you're going to get those. That energy is going to come back to you like a boomerang. You give out sad energy, you're going to get sad energy. You give out angry energy, you're going to get angry energy. Same with negative energy and all of the above. So we want to work on managing those emotions through all aspects of life, because that's going to make you stronger. That's going to make you more fulfilled. It's going to help you with self-discipline. It's going to help you with being that man that you know that you should be and that you're aspiring to be. For all of us, any man in their 20s and above who are trying to be better and find themselves, this is a extremely important key to that development of growth. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy at all, but you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. If you don't try, you're never going to get better at managing it. If you ignore your emotions, if you just let them flood you whenever you get angry or sad, and you don't try to control it, you don't try to understand your emotions and figure out what's triggering it, what's going on, you're never going to get better at it. And it's going to cause you to lose a lot of opportunities, a lot of relationships, a lot of things that are important to you. So just remember that. It's your boy J3, and I'm out.